G'day guys, we're back for another video at C-Sugs garage. We're working on a Ford EL Fairmont this time. Already did one side with front brakes. We'll only be, no, we'll probably do both brakes in this video, just one either side. We've learnt very quickly that we probably should be recording this for you guys, as it's definitely not standard like we thought it would be. So we've got the front wheel here, this is front right, and we're just taking off our brake caliper now because we're doing a rotor change. Taking one bolt out, I'll just take the other bolt out, hang this up, and then we'll get on to the next stage of taking out the rotor. Alright guys, so we've got the caliper hung up here with our bungee cord, just to keep it safe and from pulling on any of the leads. Now for these rotors, we've learnt very quickly with a tiny bit of internet help, just to guarantee that we've got to take some of the axle components off. So there's this little shield here, which all I did was grab, not that, that's for sure, missed the stage already. Went to grab the old flathead screwdriver and the little crackpot hammer, wherever that's gone. Probably over there. We'll find it. It's exactly where it was. And all you're going to do is come around that little lip between our rotor here and this cap. It's like that little lip where the screwdriver is. Just going to come in there, bang on the back of the screwdriver with the hammer, and that will slowly separate. So I'll quickly just do that and then we'll get back to it. So guys, we've just gone around with the screwdriver. As you can see, she's slightly come out a bit now. Now just grab your big old channel locks, I think these are. You're just going to go up to them, grab it, and sort of wiggle it back and forwards, and off that cap comes. Sit it upside down to put all your other greased up components in, and so that nothing's really going to interfere with it. And then there's going to be a split pin here, which we'll take out now using just some simple long nose pliers. Sort of grab at the edges and bend it down all the way to the bottom like that. Do the same for the other ear. And just grab the top of it and sort of get underneath the eye and pull it out using your axle as a gripping point. Should come out relatively easy. Some will be more of a pain than others. Just keep going at it and you'll eventually get it. There we go. That's out now. We don't need that, so just dump it anywhere. And then you got this little shield piece here, which comes straight off. Oop. Preferably don't drop it on the ground like I do. But put it inside your little dust cap. And then there's going to be that nut there, which is 30mm. Now, if your axles have been done up properly, they should be pretty much hand tight. So we'll give this a whirl. And hand tight it was. So off that will come just a 30mm for that. Your calipers will be a 13mm, the bolts on that. Should have mentioned that when I first undid them. So off that nut comes into our little grease pot. And then just like push the rotor back up the top sort of thing. Push it in towards the car and that will release the bearing system that's in there. That we've got to remove. There'll be a washer and then your roller bearing. Just make sure you put it back in the same way that you took it out when you replace the rotor. Your big washer will be keyed as well for your axle. And then theoretically this should just slide right off now. and we don't need that because it's warped. So now we'll just grab the new rotor and we'll get right back into it. So now we're back with our rotor. This is our new one. Got a lovely recorder now, thank God. So just slide this boy right on the same way she came off. And there like that. Now give it a spin, because we've noticed on our other side that she was rubbing intensely, so we had to grind a little bit of our sensor down. However, this one seems to be just fine. Don't worry about getting grease on this surface. It's not as important as getting grease on your actual rotor face. Preferably don't get any on that one. Now here's our bearing here. You can see that little key part. Just make sure you line that up. If you preferably put it the right way first too. That will slide right in there, just like that. And then grab your nut. Clean off anything you got on it from dropping it. Screw that right on. Just like that. Now the goal with these is to get them tight, but only to the point where they don't quite freely spin, and then just back it off the slightest bit so that you can put your split pin back in. So I like to start by doing them up tight to begin with, and give it a little spin. This one's actually doing pretty good. We'll tighten it up even more and show what it's like. So you can see it doesn't move anywhere near as freely now. So you just back it off a little bit, give it a spin, spins pretty freely. And then down here we've got our little sort of protector for it, and that's just going to go right on over the top. And as you can see, it doesn't quite line up with any of our points to put a split pin through. So we'll just take that off quickly, grab our socket and back it off in this occasion, since it's already done up tight enough. Just a little bit, not much at all needed. Put it back on. Just like that. Still not quite right. Backed it off a little bit too fast, so just make a little adjustment, tighten it up. And that should be right now, hopefully. Find out. Pretty darn close to right. We can work with that. So now we'll just grab the split pin and send her through the top here, straight through down to the bottom. Grab our needle nose pliers, bend her up on both sides. Alright, so that's now that part done. So now what we are going to do is put our cap back on. All it is a press fit. I like to put it on there, grab something to smack it with. You sort of work your way lightly around your outside. Just till she's seated properly. That's the end of that part. So now quickly take off greasy crap, because we don't need that. Grab our caliper from the little stand that we made up, drop that, slide her right back over our new rotor. Now that's on. There'll be these little plates to grab. You just want to make sure you reinstall them onto these little guard places here. If they did fall off, hopefully they don't fall off for you, but they most likely will. So now that's back on. You're just going to grab your 2 bolts. There's a bigger one up the top. They're both 13mm. Got the bigger one up the top, the smaller one down the bottom. Screw them in. Make sure to remove your jockey strap. Put your wheel back on, and that's all to it. Alright guys, so now that we've done the front, we're on to the rears. We've just done one side to get a exact workout of how all this works. Reckon we've got it pretty well pat down now. So first part is going to be taking off our caliper, obviously, because we're doing rotors. So take off the caliper. For the rears, there will be 2 bolts in the back here. Just one there, and the other one just down there. Going to take both of them off, and they should be a 15mm spinner, which we have here. So just on the back there it will go, and they'll be pretty tight, so just always make sure you spin them to the left for loose, spin them to the right for tight. So we're going loose, so to the left she goes. It's going to want to grab a hammer, give her a good old whack, because they are on there really tight. Got this little one. Hopefully she comes right off. Which she did not, but the spinner did. But anyway, that's the process. I'll just take it off, and then we'll get on to the next stage. So now we've got our caliper off and hanging up there with our bungee cord. Going to come in here with the impact driver. Make sure she's going to the left position. Just push her on there, spin her to the left, and now she's going left for loose. We're just going to take out that screw right there. So all you're going to do is hold that there. Come on to the back with your hammer. Make sure to strike on this face, whilst also spinning this to the left for loosen. And that screw is coming right out of there. I've just given her 2 smacks on the rear to the left, and she's already coming right off. So now what you do is unscrew that. Now she comes like that. This is off. Ain't gonna come off easy for us, so we come in with a bit of Aussie WD-40, as per tradition.
Oh, trusty.
And spray around that surface there. And you're going to come in with your hammer from the back where you can hit the rotor. Bit easier on the other side for me, being a right-hander. You're just going to come in and smack that surface there. And slowly take the rotor off. As you can see, she's slowly moving. So I'll get this off, and then we'll get on to the next part. So now we've gone around, loosened her up. This should just come right off now. Just a bit of wiggling. That it just did. And then there's some drum brakes. They are specifically for your handbrake. Now these are quite dirty, so you just want to come in with a bit of brake cleaner. Just give them a quick spray over. We're almost out of brake cleaner, so we've got to try and make this last for this final rotor. We just give them a half decent spray over, get all the old crap done. Should be just enough left. Now they're looking a bit better, should hopefully grip a bit better too because of that. So now the next stage is simply just going over, grabbing a new rotor. Unboxing videos 101 now we are. Got a mate to help me. And here's a new rotor. Love how things just magically come off. Don't know why that's because. And every time that you're installing one of these, you want to look at it and make sure that you have all these lines held up. These ones that are all the same are going to be your stud ones that your studs will come through. The smaller hole with the taper on it, that will be for your little screw to go in. Just like that, which will hold the rotor in. And this bigger one, usually it leads to your handbrake adjustment for the drums. However, on this car, yeah, on the Ford, they've gone weird, and it sort of leads into whatever's meant to be in there, which is not the adjuster that we thought it was going to be. So all that you're going to do with your new rotor is grab it, make sure you line them all up, make sure your screw holes lined up with your screw, and just slide it right onto the studs, just like that. Push it all the way on. Probably get a bit stuck once you hit this point due to your old rust that was on there. So you just go around the face, be careful not to hit studs, and bang her on there. Oop. That should be on there pretty good. Your ears are probably ringing through the video just like mine are. And then you just want to reinstall that screw right into its spot. You see that just changed direction. That's not done up. What you're going to do is come back and hit on the back with your hammer while spinning to the right to tighten it all the way up this time. I'll be doing that off camera. And then you just also want to make sure with these brakes that you come back and grab your little rubber grommet that's in here. Just with a screwdriver, just give her a good pry. Just like this if you haven't removed it yet. Or if you have removed it, you can just come from the back to make your job a bit easier. And just replace it on your new one, just in that spot there. So that's what your brake should look like now. Now just tighten this up until she don't spin anymore. And then replace your caliper with those two bolts that we took out. Put your wheel back on, tighten everything up, and away you go. That's job done. So guys, we just finished putting new rotors in here. Car is lowered because we just put some new coils in there, King Springs SLs. So that's the whole process of doing that, just doing front and rear respectively, and that's all there really is to it. Thanks guys, stay safe whilst working. Hope you enjoyed, hope this is helpful. Haven't really seen a whole lot of EL Fairmont brakes on the internet, so hopefully this will be helpful for those of who do own one. Have a safe time guys, see ya.